Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's time to do another pregnancy update. I know I've skipped out on like week 15 and 16, possibly even week 14. I don't really remember. It's been a few weeks since I've made videos. I just kind of got in a funk and was like, just not feeling it, you know. It wasn't like a depressing like funk, but it was like I don't feel like filming kind of funk, so I didn't. But now I'm back, and yeah, it's time to do another pregnancy update. So my last doctor's appointment was about a week and a half ago now. Everything was really good. The heartbeat, I believe she said it was 154. So good, healthy heartbeat. And it was funny because the baby actually kicked the little wand thing they use when they're like looking for the heartbeat. And my doctor was so surprised because she was like, "You never feel kicks this hard at 15 weeks. And I was like, well, maybe it was 16 weeks, but I was like, I've been feeling stuff for a while now, so it's not that surprising to me. But you could like hear it on the wand, and she like jerked her hand back, and it was funny. So everything with the baby so far is really healthy, and we find out the gender March 2nd, so really excited about that. Yeah, everything else has been kind of smooth sailing. Not a whole lot to report on, but I do have some things worth talking about, and I've just kind of been jotting down notes as things happen that I feel like talking to you guys about. So the first one here to talk about is that my cousin is pregnant. We found out she's pregnant a couple of weeks ago, and she is like, I think 13 weeks, and I'm now 17 weeks, so we're only like 4 weeks apart. So that's pretty exciting. Her baby's due like the beginning of August, mine is due like the middle of July, and we were just over the moon, so excited. And then of course our other cousin just had her baby girl at the end of November, so her baby is gonna be about 9 to 10 months older than our baby, our babies. So they're all gonna get to grow up together the same way that we did, and we're just so excited. We're like all excited about play dates and sleepovers and birthday parties, and we can't wait. Next thing to talk about is pregnancy brain. Oh my gosh, I feel like I am derping through life. I feel like an idiot half the time. I had a friend over the other day, and we were talking, and I couldn't think of the word of cafe. We had both worked at Sam's Club doing demonstrations for about 4 years together, and he came by just to visit. I hadn't seen him in a while. We've also been friends since like elementary school. But we were just talking, and we were talking about the Lafayette Sam's Club and how when the demo people work there, like they don't have a break room to go to, or like they're not allowed to use the break room in Lafayette. And we were talking about how like they have to go to the cafe, and I made the comment like I couldn't think of the word cafe. I was sitting there for like the longest time, like where they eat the pizza and the hot dogs, and just sitting there like I couldn't think of the word cafe. And he had to help me out on that, but it's just little things like that, and I just feel like an idiot half the time because it's the little things like I should just know, and I'm sitting there like I don't like malfunctioning. Like I have no idea what's going on. So pregnancy brain is for real. I can remember hearing about that before getting pregnant, and I was like, I don't know how true that is. It's a thing. Like, oh my gosh. It's horrible, and I feel like an idiot most of the time. Okay, this next thing that's been happening is like, it kind of freaks me out every time that it does happen, but so far it's been pretty normal. But it's the cramping and back pain. And it just freaks me out because, you know, if you have like really bad cramping, like sometimes you can have a miscarriage. And so far that hasn't happened, everything's healthy, but I have had cramping, especially if I overdo it with cleaning or something, which I find it so strange, the things that are overdoing it for me. Like the other night I was making dinner and doing dishes kind of at the same time, and I started cramping so bad. I was like, all I'm doing is standing here, like how is this overdoing it? But oh my gosh, it was horrible. Like I was freaking out. Talked to a few of my friends, and they're like, just give it a little bit, it should go away. It sounds like you overdid it, but if it doesn't, you might want to go to the hospital. Like, oh my gosh, it was horrible. And then like the back pain that accompanies the cramping, I don't always get back pain and cramping at the same time. Sometimes it's like one or the other, sometimes they're together, but it really sucks. And I feel like I get a lot more of the back pain because I really messed up my back in high school. I did color guard through high school, and during my last season, my senior year, I don't know what I did because I never went to the doctor, but my dad said it sounds like I threw out my back. But essentially what it feels like the vertebrae and the lower part of my spine are like grinding together, and like there's no cushion on it. And I get flare-ups like that, you know, every so often. throughout the year, but I really haven't had them. I graduated high school about 7 years ago, and I really don't get them very often anymore. I used to get them a lot after it first happened. It'd be like several times a year, and it trickled down to like once, maybe twice a year. But since getting pregnant, it like flares up often, and it really freaking hurts. Thankfully it hasn't been as bad as when it very first happened. When it very first happened, it was like horrible. Like I thought I was gonna die, kind of horrible. But sorry, I got things like falling over here. But thankfully it hasn't been like that bad. Like I don't have to sleep with a pillow under my back the way that I did. And I'm not crying myself to sleep like I used to. So it's not that painful, but like it's still really uncomfortable. So I guess we can go ahead and talk a little bit about my birthing plan. I feel like that's kind of coming into place. I've done a little bit of research on just like epidurals and stuff like that, and I'm kind of like leaning towards not wanting to get one. I really want to try to go as naturally as possible, though I'm not against having like painkillers of some sort if they offer it, but I really want to try doing it without an epidural. I've talked to a few people who've had it, and for some of them they're like it only worked for like half of my body. Other people say that like it didn't work at all. Some people say they had to have it done a couple of times to get it to work, and I've had a few people tell me that even after getting the epidural and everything wore off and stuff, like they have nerve damage down the back of their legs where like they can't feel certain places in their legs. So I'm really wanting to try to do it as natural as possible. I've talked to a few ladies on this July mom group that well, it's for babies due in July, but it's this Facebook group that I'm on. And I've talked to a few people on there who, Molly, I'm filming, time to be annoying. Gotta love having a puppy. But anyways, I've talked to a few people on this group, and they've said with previous pregnancies that they've gone all natural and haven't had anything. They're like, yeah, it sucks, but you know, your body's made to do it. And my mom didn't have an epidural with me. She couldn't because she has really bad scoliosis. So it just wasn't an option for her. And she said, you know, it really sucks, but she's like, when it comes time to push, like all the pain just kind of goes away. You stop thinking about it, and you're just all about getting the baby out. And she said that they gave her some other kind of painkillers. It's obviously not as strong as like an epidural, but you know, they worked for her. So I really want to try to go as natural as possible. And that's currently kind of my birthing plan. Granted, I haven't exactly talked to my doctor about it because she hasn't asked about birthing plans yet. And I haven't really felt like I had the opportunity to bring it up. But yeah, that's definitely what I'm kind of going for. I'm leaving the option open for an epidural, but I'm not planning on having one. So we'll just kind of see how things go. I mean, I still got a few months, so we'll see. And I guess I've got something kind of funny I can talk about a little bit here. Most recently I had like the strongest craving for hot dogs, but not like just any hot dog, but like a ballpark Frank hot dog. Like, oh my gosh, like one of the really big ones, just with the grill marks, just one of that so bad. Of course, it's middle of winter, so it's not like we're gonna go pull the barbecue grill out in like 18-degree weather and like do a hot dog, right? And the only place at night that we could think of that had them when I had this craving was like gas stations. And I've had bad experiences with gas station food making me sick. So I wanted one, but I didn't want one bad enough to go do that. What I decided to do was just go ahead and make some hot dogs that we had here in the refrigerator. And I remember getting so emotional about it. Like I was putting these hot dogs in my microwave, and like anytime I get irrationally emotional so far since being pregnant, which hasn't happened very often, but it has happened a few times. It's like this internal dialogue going on, like this fight between like my left brain and my right brain, and like one of it's like, oh my god, we have to have these dinky hot dogs, blah blah blah, and the other side of me is like, what the hell's your problem? We don't like hot dogs anyways. Like, I really don't. I'm not the biggest hot dog fan. I'm not one to just want to get a hot dog just because. Like if I'm at a barbecue or something and they're grilled out, I'll eat them if they're off a grill, but just like microwave hot dogs and want to eat them, like that's not really my thing. And so it's like this whole internal dialogue, and I'm like holding back tears, and it was just like a really emotional experience over these stupid hot dogs. And I got them out of the microwave, and like put my ketchup on them and all that stuff, and ate them, and then it was like best thing I ever tasted in my whole life, and I ate like 4 of them. Then I was like, I'm a fatty. But like, oh my gosh, that was like the strongest craving I've had so far was for those hot dogs. Like, I would have killed somebody for some freaking hot dogs. But I just thought that was kind of funny. I look back at that and I laugh because I'm like, that's so stupid. Like, that's like the stupidest thing to get emotional about because I had to eat dinky little hot dogs and I couldn't get like a ballpark prank. But yeah, I just kind of look back and then laugh and thought maybe you guys could laugh out of that too. So that kind of sums up everything worth talking about right now. So I'll go ahead and do my belly shot. And then we've been working on the nursery. It's not done yet, but I'll go ahead and show you guys what we have completed so far. So, okay, so far I've still only gained about 2 to 4 pounds in my pregnancy, and this is what I'm looking like. I think I'm getting a little bit rounder, definitely, but thankfully not like gaining a whole bunch of weight, which is really good. That's one thing I was nervous about, was having a lot of weight gain, and I haven't, so just getting more rounded. So there's my belly. Let's go have a look at the nursery. You guys love where we're storing all the baby things? Since we've been working on the nursery, we don't have any place to put them, so they're all just kind of piled here upside the door. Not the best place to keep them, but eventually they will go in here. So here is the nursery. We painted. It was all white in here, and now it's this like yellowy tan color. Turn the light on. Don't know how much that helps. As you can see, we didn't go all the way up to the ceiling because we are going to be doing crown molding. So we figured better not risk painting the ceiling any on accident. And we just went up, you know, close to the ceiling, but we are going to do crown molding. That's like the last big thing we have in here to do. I'm pretty excited about that. And then the closet, we need to clean all that stuff out from in here. That's just like full of just stuff. So yeah, and then we painted the door white. So you can see here, the doors are actually a wooden color. I'm not the biggest fan of the wood look on the doors. I think they're kind of out of place looking. So we went ahead and painted the inside or back of this door, whatever you want to call it. Went ahead and painted it white. And I think it looks a little bit better, and it kind of goes better with like the trim. And then most recently, Mike has been working on pulling the carpet out of here. We finally got it all out. But you can see there's still little places where like there's like foam stuck to the ground, and places like this where there's foam stuck to the ground, there's like a staple there that's holding it in. So we have to go through and like pull these staples out to get the rest of the foam off of the floors, and then we can go ahead and sweep and mop. It looks pretty rough in here right now on camera, but in person you can tell there's really not too many scratches, which we're really excited about. We expect these floors have been covered in carpet since like the late 80s, early 90s. So almost 30 years, 25 to 30 years being covered. We really weren't sure what to expect. We do have a few spots like over here and over here. We're not really sure what those are, but we're hoping they come up when we mop. And then we have the vent thing here, and we have to replace that because it is wooden and it pops right up really easily, and it's just not very sturdy. Like, I'd be afraid our kid, when they're older, might be trying to play on that or step on it or something and like fall through. So that needs to get replaced. The other one is a metal grate, and it like screws into the floor. So that one's a lot more sturdy, a lot safer. So we need to get another one of those for the other side. But otherwise that's the nursery, if I can get on camera. And then of course we have this like big chair here behind me. Let me see how well I can show that. We have to sell this guy. It's an electric chair for like people who have disabilities and need them to like lift out of the chair. It was my grandfather's, so we need to sell that. We're hoping we can sell it for enough money to buy a crib. And then we have our treadmill back here, which will be going in to the spare room if I can figure out my angles. But yeah, we're pretty excited about that, and it's almost done. Okay guys, so that's gonna wrap up my pregnancy update for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys. Our yard. Our yard. Thank you. Our yard. Molly. Our yard. Our yard. Molly. Our yard. Oh, you're tangled. Good job.